Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of The Dauntless Breed. We're going to be talking about shoulder recovery, shoulder health.
Yeah, shoulder rehab and prehab.
And then a little bit of about strength as well, how you can strengthen your shoulders.
Yeah, so Johan came to me, well, didn't really come to me, we just talked about it for, a while ago. He's got a bit of a shoulder, I don't like calling it problems, let's say shoulder dysfunction sounds terrible, but yeah, it is what it is. It's basically a shoulder movement dysfunction. So what happens is he gets a pain in the back in the muscle there, so especially going overhead, and what causes that is basically an inactive rhomboids and your lats. So if you think about, so I'll just go overhead quickly, so right, if I'm overhead, see how my scapula are pulling far away apart. I can actually probably show this better if you do. Yeah, so face that way for me. I'll put my shirt back on because otherwise we're just two half naked dudes. Right, so put your arms out in front of you.
Like that.
And try and push your shoulders forward. So try not to do, like that. So as you can see there, what happened, so bring back your shoulders. You can see your shoulder blades move there closer to each other. So now, if you push your arms forward again and try and go overhead. So what he needs to do now, he needs to really use these muscles to pull his arm back. So if you now go back forward, pull your shoulder blades in, and now go overhead.
Yeah.
See, these muscles, his rhomboids are getting used, and upper traps and his lats get used to pull his shoulder back. So he can sit in this position if he had weight on pretty comfortably, as long as he doesn't have to use these muscles. That one's soft now. That barely works. So that's what we want to try and do. And obviously you can relax. He's doing that, concentrating a lot. So obviously you have to think about, all right, shoulders back and go overhead. You can't always do that, especially mid-lift. You can't you can, but we want to teach the body to be doing that on its own. So without you having to do that. So we're going to show you a couple of simple movements, simple exercises. Where's the band?
Yeah, because so for myself, it's it's just that pinch, almost like it came from basically from doing too heavy and too many snatches, all in one time. So it's just the muscle not being used and then being overused. It's just overused for that muscle, because that muscle is not supposed to be doing that. That muscle is supposed to be doing external rotation, and when you're there to do external rotation, it's not supposed to be pulling your arm back. So in snatches specifically, I find that what happens is if I roll my shoulder forward, this muscle then has to pull back because my rhomboids aren't pulling my scapula together, so that it's like a shelf. It should just sit there. I should be able to just hold my arm there, very relaxed, because my rhomboid's doing the job rather than the rotator cuff muscle. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have you grab this just in your hands like this, and what I want you to really think about is tighten your back, and then keep your elbows in and push straight up. You want to feel almost a cramp in your upper back, so between your scapula. As you go up, only go up as far as you stop feeling tightness in your back. So if you just go up here and you stop feeling that tension between your shoulder blades, stop. Then go back down and just go that high. Or do you want me to turn the face that way or face
that way? Face that way so we can
see.
So really focus on pulling your shoulder blades together and then push your arms up. So once we see separation there already, so his rhomboids already stopped working. Well, it's still working, but it's relaxing a little bit.
I think it's like starting
to go. Keep your elbows in. There you go. Yeah, so go back down again. So that will teach your body, you can relax. That will teach your body to really focus on elbows in and activate your rhomboids while you're doing that. You should be feeling, did you feel sort of, not a cramp, but tightness?
Tightness, yeah.
Yeah, almost like on the verge of cramping. So that's one thing you'll do.
Would this be a good warm-up before doing something like snatches?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I used to do a lot, there's pretty much all of these, you can use it's both rehab, prehab, and warm-up, even cool down. So especially warm-up, because as long as your body sort of knows how to move, you can trust it to do what it needs to do, and you can trust it for other muscles to then do, relax and be able to do what they do. So the other thing we're going to do is just a kettlebell. So this is very light, but I know you're a big strong man, but Yeah, it's going to be. So what you want to do is you want to be out 45 degrees, so not straight out and not definitely not to the side. 45 degrees to your body, upside down, right? And you want to feel tightness in here. So you want your serratus anterior, really your serratus anterior is that muscles there. So the tiny, they basically glue your scapula to your rib cage, right? So that's one thing you want to feel, and then at the same time you want to feel your back really tight, right? So you're only going to do this with one, and then you're just going to push it up. Same thing. You're going to stop as soon as you feel your back sort of going. You stop. So slowly.
Are you squeezing the lat or not?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It will feel like you do, but it will mostly be your serratus anterior. So you still want to feel your back, and then push up. Takes a lot of concentration, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so serratus anterior, those little muscles you can see there. Good. So you see he didn't go full up, which is fine. That will take some practice. And you don't need more than an 12 kilogram dumbbell.
Okay.
If you do sets of 10 with that, you're going to be tired.
Yeah, I think that's 6, and you can feel,
Was that a 6 or 8?
Yeah, 6.
No, 6, yeah. Cool, so another thing we're going to do, what happens a lot with any bodybuilder, CrossFitter, anyone that does a lot of pulling, if you think about most workouts contain something pulling wise. Even if you're squatting, you're pulling the bar forward. All of this is your bicep and your chest is going to be activating on that. I mean, you're benching a lot. As Marines, we're like that the whole time, both at the desk and carrying Bergens. So what happens a lot is your short head of your bicep gets really tight. So this is just something that prevents your short head of your bicep to really pull your shoulders forward. So it allows you to go up a little bit.
Okay.
So all you're going to do is you're just going to hold that up there. If you ever feel pain doing this, there's most likely some form of tendinopathy in your short head of your bicep. You shouldn't feel any pain doing this.
And then that's another problem.
That is another problem, yeah, which causes a lot of impingements. But yeah, so you should be able to hold straight arm, shoulders still back, and just hold it there. So you can do.
Turn around.
Yeah, so still force that muscle to work by pulling back. You obviously won't be able to pull back as much because your arm is elevated forward. But yeah, you should be able to hold that. See how you're shaking?
Yeah.
That just means, and it's not a bad thing, it's the short head of the bicep is not very often exercised, which is why it causes so much problems.
What did you say? What does it strengthen? Doing this?
The short head of the bicep. Yeah. So it basically just, the short head of the bicep comes over in front of your, so basically it connects to your, what's this thing again? Collarbone.
Oh, right.
There's another name for it, but collarbone, right? So, and that, if that's tight, it does this to your shoulder, and if it's weak, it gets tight. So you want to strengthen that so that it can take the pressure, especially from doing pull-ups, cleans, all of that stuff that works your bicep. You don't want that.
Yeah, because I have to, what's the word?
Consciously.
Consciously actually pull my shoulders back.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you just walk like this or you just sit like this, but I need to consciously go, right?
Yeah, so what a lot of people do, especially, so if you turn back and face that way, so if you pull your shoulders back, see how that muscle activated? That's not supposed to pull your shoulders back.
Okay.
And that's a natural thing, because you feel like, all right, cool, I should feel it in my shoulder, sort of. That's your body's thing, so I should feel it in my shoulder, but you shouldn't. You should only feel it there. So basically all you want to do, you don't really want to pull your shoulders back. You just want to squeeze your scapula together. There you go, that's still activated, but that's a lot better. You can see these actually working now, and that's what you want. So we'll get to why. So that's one thing. So we've done 2 shoulder things now. We've done the long head of the bicep. Another thing gets really tight and pulls your shoulder forward is your pecs, so your chest.
Yeah.
And the only really way to fix that is by lacrosse ball, rolling the shit out of it. I've got a normal hockey ball, which is a bit bigger, so if you're on the floor, that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But also you can have a bench and stretch that. So we're not going to show you this. This is literally, it's very simple. Put the ball on.
Where would you put it in? there?
Anywhere on your chest,
On
yeah. So anywhere,
okay.
I try to focus closer to the shoulder.
Okay.
But anywhere on your chest, if there's a tight spot, stay in it.
And what? Just put your hand behind your back and just roll.
Just roll it. Your arms can be outside. It doesn't really matter. There is science to it, but there's no wrong way to do it. Really, you're not going to injure yourself by laying on a ball.
Yeah.
If you fall on the ball, sure, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So the other thing I want to do is once say you had a shoulder injury and it actually hurt, and it was inactive for a while, what you most likely will lose is stability. And with snatches and all that stuff, stability is really important. And if you lose that, you have a lot more of a risk of injury because your shoulder will be going in all sorts of directions. I'm sure you felt that while snatching, your arms like, oh, fuck. Shouldn't be doing that. So that's where stability balls like these come. I'm not sure what they call these, but I call it it's called a, no, that's just a brand. So what you want to do is if you have a buddy or a partner that can throw you this, so you want your elbows at 90, I'm going to throw this to you, grab it, and throw it back. So you can allow it to, so if you throw it to me, you can allow it to go back.
Okay.
So this will just practice your proprioception and stability. Another thing you can do is by just on your own, just do that.
And you want to keep it like this the entire time.
It's
basically this movement, is it?
Yeah, so it's internal and external rotation, but it's not about the internal and external rotation. It's about your shoulder being somewhere where it needs stability. My shoulder here doesn't need stability.
Yeah.
Here it doesn't really need stability. So there's no point in doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not using my shoulder at all, I'm using my bicep. Where here, my shoulder needs to stabilize my arm. The further you can go away from your body, the more stabilizing it needs.
Okay. What about what about if you take a dumbbell, kettlebell, and you walk?
That is part of why this is also very good.
Okay.
This thing. So once you get to the top, next thing you can start doing is adding weight. So do with more weight. And then once you're pain-free, you can start walking with it.
Okay.
The problem with walking before you're pain-free is if it's up there all the way and you're moving and it pulls in the wrong direction, you can worsen the injury.
Yeah.
So we want to create the strength to be able to handle the weight first while moving, because that will still create stability, still force it to stabilize the weight. But then once you're strong enough to actually hold the weight there, then you can start thinking about, all right, cool, I can now move it. Then you can think about, getting like a barbell with rubber bands and some weights hanging on it, walking, because it makes it, there are like bamboo barbells you can get that you use for that. That's pretty much it. I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that you can do without any equipment that will strengthen all of your rotator cuff muscles. Just with no weight, nothing. You don't need anything. So you can do this before you go to bed. This is great for a warm up, just to strengthen your rotator cuff. Right. So now we're just going to do a couple of exercises on the floor, mostly that will strengthen your rotator cuff. So I'll show you what it is, and then I'll show them while you do it what muscles you. Burpees. No, burpees are great, but that's not what we're doing now. So so the first thing we're going to do is.
That's a calorie burn.
One. Right. So you get reverse T's. You can do these on a bench as well. So if you're lying flat down on a bench. So all you want to do is you want to go out. You don't want your shoulders to just relax like this. You want to still externally rotate your shoulders and pull your shoulder blades together. And then you're just going to do this. Really simple. Really simple.
Like a fucked penguin.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Another thing you can do is palms facing up. Again, not like this. You're not lying like this. This is useless. Still, shoulders protracted. Still activate your shoulder blade. And then you just, look at that.
No.
Just going to do that. Easy. And then the other one there. So you don't want to be, again, shoulders relaxed. You don't want to do that. You want to be tight. Focus, shoulder blades pulled together. You don't want to do that. You want your shoulders blades down. And just that. So I think they're called like T's, A's, and Y's. Something like that.
Okay.
Crap my forehead. Right, so you're going to lie down. Right, so first thing first, arms out to the side. See there, your shoulders relaxed. So yeah, I want you to do that, and I want you to pull it in there, okay? So don't push yourself off of the floor with your arms. So now I want you to lift your arms as high as you can,
and then back down. Do about 10 of those. You feel the burn here?
Yeah.
Right, you can stop, that's fine. Right, so same thing for if you put your arm down by your side.
Like that?
Yeah, but again, you don't want your shoulders relaxed. Yes, exactly. So you want to be upright. So now do your arms again. There you go. Listen to the click. Okay, cool. That's fine. So always make sure you feel it in there. You want to feel almost cramping in there. That's what you want to feel. Right, so straight out. Straight out in front of you, yeah. And then up. That's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, relax. Cool, so. Right, one last thing before we get on to actually how to strengthen your shoulders and get big, bolder shoulders is thoracic spine mobility. That is very, very important. If you think about your back, if you can't do that, how can you expect to go overhead? So you don't want to be doing this and then you just can't go overhead. So in this position, because my arm's lying forward, my rotator cuff muscles will have to work really hard to pull everything up. So if I'm doing a thruster or a shoulder press and my thoracic spine is not fully extended, my arm will be out here and I'll have to force it back there by using my rotator cuff muscles, right? Because
I think that's probably one of my problems as well.
yeah, so thoracic spine mobility is absolutely vital. Without thoracic spine mobility, you will have shoulder problems. It's that simple. So shoulder or thoracic spine mobility is very easy to maintain. It's a lot of hard work, but it is easy. It's a simple process. It's literally just rolling. So we'll grab a foam roller quickly. Right, so I've got a foam roller here. What I want you to do is lie down on the foam roller.
Shall I lie with my back that way?
No, lie that way.
Oh, okay, for that. Alright. Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, so actually lie on the foam roller, yeah. So roll up a bit, yeah. So you want the shoulder, the foam roller right where his lat starts, so right where your shoulder blades are located, right? So I'm going to just aid him. You'll have the bar here, you can hold on to the bar. But what you essentially keep, okay, yeah, if you want. So that's where you want. So now, you'll just stay there in pain forever. You can move the foam roller slightly up and down in time, so if you're getting more comfortable in that position. This will also allow you to really stretch your pecs, which is also very good for shoulder mobility.
And what do you want to do with your head? Do you want to push it forward, or do you want to keep it?
Don't push it forward too far internally, as in push it forward as far as you can. Just keep it where it's comfortable. It won't be comfortable in this position, but don't relax it, obviously, because that's not going to be comfortable either. Just try and keep it sort of, you want to keep almost a straight line, which we're trying to fight here with the foam roller. Another thing you can do, if you have a lacrosse ball and you feel like there's a certain vertebrae that doesn't quite move, you can just take the lacrosse ball or the little peanuts, which is 2 lacrosse ball taped together, and really focus on that vertebra. Just move on it. So yeah, if this video gets 1,000 likes, we will do a complete video on full body mobilization. So we'll show you all of the mobility movements that you can do for ankles, knees, hips, everything. So yeah, smash the like button. Do that.
Isn't it kind of reinforcing your body to what it should really be, almost?
Yeah, to a degree. Your thoracic spine is meant to have, so it's
a little bit of a kink to it.
Yeah, but the opposite direction. But what happens is, so as I understand, so if you face that way for me, so you want your body to go in and out your thoracic spine. So your thoracic spine should be as it is now, so it should be out, and then your cervical spine should go in again. So if you, I can draw this. Right. So here we have a whiteboard. So right. So you want, this is your face.
I'll contribute.
Look at that.
Nice.
Looks like
yeah, from Despicable Me.
Yeah. What's his name?
Groot. No, another Groot.
No.
I don't know. Fuck it.
I don't know. Anyway, so you want your spine to do that. Obviously not that bad, and then you've got your cervix, which will do that, right? So you want that curvature. That's your lumbar, your thoracic, there, and your cervical spine, right? So that for your thoracic spine is normal. You do want your thoracic spine to do that, not to that level.
Oh, right. Okay.
But
so when you mobilize your thoracic spine, is that when you try and bring that curve?
You're going against the curve.
Oh,
yes.
right. Okay.
Yeah. So your thoracic spine should be able to not really bend in the opposite direction, but at least get straightened. And what happens a lot is between your vertebrae, they get really tight. The muscles that keep your vertebrae together and the ligaments and stuff stop you from being able to do that.
And is that from things like people just sitting all day?
Yeah, sitting in that position the whole time, not moving, not actually moving the spine. So that is going against the norm of your body, but your body should still be able to do that. Your body should be, just like the norm of my body is this, but my body should still be able to do this. You know what I mean? Or the norm is to do this, but I should still be able to do that. You just need to be able to move in that direction. It shouldn't stay there, but and that's why we do the foam roller. Okay.
Interesting.
Shall we get to the strength?
Yeah, let's get to the exciting part.
Well, this is the stuff I love. The exciting stuff for you is the strength. Right. So you're gonna show me how to.
Yeah. Okay.
Floor is yours.
So how to strengthen your shoulders? For me, if I had to pick 2 exercises, I'd say straight bar, strict shoulder press, so military press.
Okay.
And then basically hitting your front and hitting your side delts. So with the plates. So we're gonna do side raises.
Okay.
With a bar, I mean you've done a normal shoulder press before. So keep your core tense, keep your back, so you don't want to, because you see a lot of people, firstly they some people go into the gym and stand like this and shoulder press, which you know,
it's not a split jerk, man.
No. Come on. So feet shoulder width apart, core's tensed, your back you're not in that position, you're just in a stable upright position, and then you're gonna, you know how you do your jerks, you pull your head back a little and you try and go straight up and then straight back down. So what you can put it in. I find that if you're trying to build muscle, going into more the bodybuilding side of things, you need to focus on the eccentric movement as well, instead of just trying to power it up and let it fall down, because you're missing off half the entire exercise if you do that.
Yeah.
So I find doing about, I'd say 10 to 12 reps, and then focusing, get a weight that you can get up and down at the same pace, basically, because you're not trying to do that, because you're not gaining as much. I mean, you will gain something out of it if you're going to do CrossFit and you need to do reps. You'll get something out of it, but
so you don't want to be
in CrossFit you'll be able to get something out of that, because you're trying to. CrossFit's just doing things as efficiently as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas to get bigger shoulders and stronger shoulders, you need to focus on the
eccentric and concentric.
Concentric, that's the word. So the concentric and eccentric, you need to focus on both of them. So I'd say that's probably the best exercise for that. And grabbing the bar as well, I'd say just around shoulder width, or maybe even, you don't want it too wide. I'd say probably more in than out, so I'd say maybe a little bit, I'd say about there.
Okay.
Because then you're focusing more on the front, your front delts, instead of,
Yeah, so this is obviously depending on what sport you're doing. If you're going for bodybuilding, then that's fine. Because I do Olympic lifting in CrossFit, I grab it where I would grab it for a clean. So as I'm a clean and jerk, so I don't want to be getting to the clean and then moving my hands in. So it's obviously dependent on what you do. But when you do, so as you say, bodybuilding, then closer in. I find that I'm pressing a lot better from here.
Yeah. So so sometimes I do go wider, maybe, but if I go for a 1 rep max shoulder press, I try and get my hands exactly where I want them, which is a little bit inwards from shoulder width.
Okay, so even more than that.
Well, no, not that much.
What about there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It depends what works for you, but I find that if you hold it out too much, you're not actually activating that. Whereas if you hold it in here, you're using the front a lot more, and that is what you're trying to grow, trying to get bigger.
Seen, yeah.
And then also, if you want to be wider, and you want that that shape, and also just
superior shape.
and also just to have stronger side delts. For me, I like cheers. So either with dumbbells or with these, what you're going to do is go at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
So I think what did you say about keeping your
thumbs out? Yeah.
Thumbs out.
So you don't ever want to. This is internally rotating your shoulder and then doing that. You don't ever want to be in that position. It's not good for your shoulder. So you want to be at least neutral or externally rotated when you go overhead. Yeah.
So there's this position, and then also I find keeping your arms at a 90 degrees, and then from here.
Okay. Yeah.
Doing that. Those are the two that I prefer to do. Obviously, we would go heavier with a weight. It's just but it's so you can get. It's basically so you can get 10 to 12 reps out. I'd say probably with these more 12 to 15 reps out.
Yeah.
But doing them, focusing on the concentric and eccentric movement. So not going like that, but focusing on keeping. So you need to literally feel the muscle tighten.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll burn.
Cool. Yeah, so that's about how to fix a shoulder, how to prehab and rehab your shoulder, and then how to strengthen your shoulder when it's all good to go.
Yes, there's a lot of equipment you can get that helps you, that will allow you to really well rehab your shoulder. That's stuff like easy stuff like bands, small dumbbells, balls, light kettlebells. The list goes on. You can do banded pullbacks, like that, to strengthen your rotator cuffs. You get something called the crossover symmetry. I've got a cheaper version of it because it's very expensive, which does all of the external rotation things with bands. Ultimately, I think the big key with shoulder health is that it's something that you always have to do, because it's very easy to, when you get tired, especially in CrossFit. I find I think the number one injury in CrossFit is shoulder injuries, shoulder impingement mostly, because when you get tired, whether it's rowing, and if you do a rowing and a shoulder overhead workout, you're going to be like that. You're going to be tired, everything's going to be relaxed, and then you're going to try and go overhead, and that's when you're going to damage stuff. So you want to really strengthen everything, so that even when you're tired, your body's just automatically like, when you're tired, it's just like, cool, I'll just stay in this position. And yes, you will be tired, the weights will feel heavier, but your body will move in the way it should. You won't be forcing other muscles to do things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, it's like that rowing video we did.
Yeah.
Where if your body's used to being in that position and you get tired, you're going to stay in that position if you enforce that.
Yeah, exactly. You need to practice being in that upright position, and it's the same with this. It's exactly the same. You just need to get used to being upright and in that position. Just activating your rhomboids to pull your shoulder blades back at all times. They need to be strong so that when you get tired, they don't go like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Happy?
Yeah.
Right. I think that's done. If you enjoyed that, smash the like button. Like I said, if we get 1,000 likes on this video, we will do a full body mobility workout video thing, which will take us about 7 hours because we talk a lot of shit. And what's the other thing they need to do?
Subscribe.
Ha! There you go.
Just click the button below.
Cool. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Everything changes.